We are live. Man, this thing took a while. Let me see, make sure we are good. You can hear us, you can see us. Refresh a little bit. Nothing yet. And I think we are good. We're going to see who's here on the chat. We had a lot of things to talk about today. I want to talk about store changes, manage payments. Also want to give the chat a little option once more people come in on what they think is better regarding two shoe options to get their money and grow their money. I want to see what the feedback looks like. All right. Shoot to Kill, who's here super early. What's up? Alan, Menace, Cutthroat, Jay's Closet, Tua Lee, Texas Pete, Stevie D, and RB Sneaker Finds 12, and Victor, Ronaldo Ray, Divisor. You guys are late. OG Sports Collectibles, Mr. Eric, Reeboks Gaming, The Big One, Elias Boss, Mr. You're 89 Romeo, and Stone Builder, Ecom Lifestyle, HQQ Games, Sal, Hawaii Rams fan, and what? Kernox Connection, Jay's Closet, Hella Finds, Sergio, Caroline, Elite Hustler, J10, and more people coming in. All right, let me
What's up?
get this out of the way. Man, there's a lot of things going on this side part. Okay, we are set. Let's start off with what we were talking about before this thing started. Manage payments. Now, I'm not going to try to pretend like I know exactly what the hell's going on.
Right.
And I sent B something, which I thought was correct. B sent me something, which he thought was correct. And then we were both kind of like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And now I'm like, you know what? They could have just made this thing in English so I can read it right.
Right.
Like, there's too many things going on, too many charts.
Make just one chart or something like that. And I think I think that chart was. I mean, I guess we can just focus on worrying about our category.
That'd be the easiest thing.
Yeah, forget everybody else.
Because also, I think, who was it? Dapper Fanatic? Someone sent us like, hey, did you see the managed payment thing and what's going on? And then I went through my emails to see what eBay had sent me. And then I was like, this seems kind of weird. And I went to the site, which sent me to a different site, and the numbers were different. So in the chat, you can let me know what you guys thought was correct and what was not. So here's from the site. Let me bring this in. Here's from the site, and we had, let me go back to the first one. So this is the one that you sent me first, right? Selling fees for managed payments.
Right. Zoom. Now, can you zoom it in?
Okay, can we zoom in? Let me go. All right. Zoom in here. Okay, so you sent me this part because specifically we want to look at athletic shoes.
Right.
So, free if starting price $100 or more, which we know. 0% if selling price is $100 or more, which we know.
Right.
But 12.35% if selling price is less than 100.
Correct.
Now, in this case, I'm looking at if they're adding in the processing fee would be like the extra 2.35% because PayPal was charging us the 2.9 plus the 30%.
They was charging 10%.
Yeah. Right. So this was different. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes more sense here, but to not have anything for 100 or more, that doesn't sound right. Because I would think they're still going to be charging something. Now, when I sent you the term, this is a whole bunch of stuff to look at.
Right.
Let me see. Let me go on here. See if I can zoom in. Now you said this was old, or this is an old one. So this one says prior to June 4th, 2019, your eBay account has remained continuously enabled for managed payments. Your payments processing fees are calculated as 2.7% of the total order amount, including shipping, handling, sales tax, and other amounts owed. The payments processing rate, which is what we were looking at. The rate. We're not having PayPal anymore.
Right.
And then we have this one, which you were saying, which made sense for the per listing payments fee. Your payments processing fees are calculated as the payments processing rate plus 25 cents per listing sold, which you were saying it wouldn't make sense because we have a store.
Yeah, if you have a subscription, the listing fee wouldn't affect you.
So this, I was like, okay, so are we getting the 2.7% regardless,
Hmm.
or you were saying have to do with the shoes category under $100? We're looking at this.
Right.
That just totally confused me, I think, in general. So Baker Brand saying, I have no clue what it meant either, read like gibberish to me. The
Right.
managed payments message, which is the same message everybody got in their store.
Yeah.
So where's Stevie
Well,
D up in here? What does he think?
well, one thing that we know of, because they've been pushing this for over a year now.
Yeah.
Yes, since the last what do you call that? eBay Open. They've been pushing that. Basically, what they're trying to make the payment processing in house. As you would say it would be like Poshmark, right? Poshmark processes a payment. Mercari processes their own. Goat processes their own. StockX the same, right? So like everybody else, uh, I think they're starting to do that, and eBay tried to migrate it way back. We were asked to be in the pilot program and everything like that. The only thing that made it hard for us was uh, when they started, they didn't have any global shipping program. So I
Yeah.
think really the gist of what's happening is I don't think eBay is really gonna make it that cheaper, right? Because we're already used to paying 10% plus 2.9% on PayPal
Plus the 30
plus
cents on
plus 30
PayPal.
cents, right? So they already know that they were paying that. I don't think they're gonna make much of a difference. What I don't understand is just make it a round off percent, right? Like make it like a 12% or a 13%. Why gotta do 12.35 plus 30 cents per sale? Like just make it flat rate, and it'd be just easy. Uh, CVD said it's ridiculous to simplify it, show the fees. 100% agree. Uh, I really think that um, hopefully they're gonna get into the fee netting like what Poshmark is doing. They're only gonna give you the money after fees.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what they're doing. And the other issue that they're trying to eliminate with this is the what do you call that? The best offer, right? The non-payment
Yeah.
after. That's one of the things that they want to do. So just to give you guys an overview, that's what we've kind of like heard from eBay when we were sitting down with them and everything like that. So um, I I personally haven't really thought about it. I- I'm just gonna wait till July because really the biggest issue is like, you know, uh, words are different from really just actual stuff that's gonna happen.
Well, I think that's an issue right now. Is like a lot of people haven't really opted in because we don't really know what to expect, and then you can opt in already and just get it over and done with. But I know a lot of people are just enjoying the way that we've already had it, so it's kind of
Right.
like a hard transaction or transition to into something else if we
Right.
really want to
Especially
or
with the whole Corona thing going on, we can't even reach anybody. You know.
not. You can't
So
even call anybody.
right. So
So let me go back into the chat and says it's okay, slowly leaving eBay and going to 100% to GOAT, Mr. Eric. Let's see, opt in yesterday, Texas Pete. I thought you had a certain date or it's mandatory from Caroline. So yes, I think it's until what was the
end of
date?
July, right?
Oh, okay, in July. Which of course the biggest thing too is like having people not paying, which is like the last 4 sales they haven't paid yet, and
Oh,
good feedback too. I'm like, come on, bro.
right.
I mean, those days hopefully will come to an end.
Right.
Let me see. Yeah, Stevie D also holding out as long as possible. July 15th, Dapper Fanatic and Mr. Eric. So, Dapper Fanatic, what did you understand? Because I know you came on the live chat yesterday about reading some of the managed payments. And we were like, you know what, let's get into it. And then we started to get into it. It just confused the hell out of me. So, Dapper Fanatic, let's see what he says.
Yeah, because really, I I don't think it should be an option, right? Like what eBay's trying to do, they're trying to migrate everybody slowly, and then if they mess up, it's like, whoa, okay, you got in early. It was an option, so you can't blame them that. But at the end of the day, if it's mandatory, if it's mandatory, we gotta adjust our systems. Um, but I'm just gonna sit it out. Like any other changes on eBay, I'm sitting out everything until it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Because why change anything? Because one thing that they haven't addressed is the global shipping program. The fact that shipping internationally now is very tricky. They haven't even addressed that. So I'm not. I've sold 4 or 5 items over the weekend through global shipping program. I don't want to deal with, I mean, that's some sales that we're not getting. So, you know, it's messy. Hopefully, we'll be able to reach out to somebody from eBay.
Yeah, hopefully so. Let's see what they decide or see what's going on with that. So Dapper Fanatic just saying they still have 0% for 100 plus on athletic shoes, except 30 cents. Under 100 is the 12.35% plus 30 cents.
Right.
So, which is that chart that we saw, the first one.
Hmm.
They're adding 1.65% for international sales too, which sucks.
Right.
So it's a
Well,
Dapper Fanatic on that one.
well, we don't. I don't think we've ever we. I mean, we don't sell international unless it's through the global shipping program. So that's something that we don't have to deal with.
Let me go back up from the managed payments and talk about. So that one we're gonna play it. Everything that I see, every changes, anything like that, we're gonna get into it once it kind of happens. Everyone is opt in. Then I know
Mhm.
we'll all be on the same page. As of right now, I think we're kind of like in between until it all happens, and I think we can go through it and see what we do like though. Kind of like what Chris said on here, a no invoice, which that's definitely going to help us.
Right.
Just take it out, from there, and we
Yeah.
don't have to see that anymore. So
Right.
that'll definitely
Somebody mentioned about Mr. Eric said about taxes. They should elevate the taxes because they should be doing that in the back end for us.
yeah.
That should be the purpose of all of this as well.
It just, I mean, I know they didn't know anything about what was going on with the pandemic or whatever,
Hmm.
but they did have a choice as far as them not having customer service ready to go with these things happening. That's when we first got that email. Remember how it was like when the pandemic first happened? They're like, yeah, these are going to change. By the way, we have nobody working in office to answer
Right.
any phone calls. So you're on your own. Once
Right.
you do see fees start going a little weird or things not working, maybe with your account. Um, so we'll see. Let me see. Original Closet says, here's the email if you do want to email them. So it says they do answer pretty quick. So we can give it that a shot and see if that does help or not. Now, going into Activate Hustle Mode, what's up? Going into store changes. My Marshalls did open, and I will have that vlog out today so you guys can see what the stores look like, some of the changes. We're going to talk about it in store. But on the chat, they're saying, who was it? Tyler? Burlington in South Carolina. Line took forever. Entire store 50% off. Now,
Wow.
Common Fan said Burlington 50% off. That's the word I'm getting too.
Wow.
Um,
That is
B,
great.
you know anything about that? Well, I know you guys aren't open, but
No. That's Jay Ochoa said. The word is Burlington opens Friday. Um. So if 50% off happens, man, it's gonna be mayhem. I mean, it's already mayhem on stores that don't even have that kind of sale.
yeah. Texas Pete, yep, I seen it in the Burlington email, but the 50%. Now, is your store definitely going to open or not? Because I know Ohio has been different with the rules, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're stores are opening this week. So
Okay,
this Friday is what they're scheduled to be opening.
okay. See, Stevie D, it's confirmed. Talk to my plug.
Wow. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta
You
my
just start
stuff.
camping out.
Yeah.
Let me see. My stores won't open until September at this rate. Stevie D.
Right.
Man, the thing is that New York, New Jersey, Cali,
All the big,
Chicago,
all the big things.
man, it's gonna be tough, especially with so many people in these areas. And I mean, there's so many stores too, but that's not like the whole thing here. It's the population and how many we
Mhm.
have in those areas. Well, there was a question. Did you have to? Let me see. Where did it go? Oh, did you get in your store right away or did you have to wait? So, two of my stores I had to wait in line outside to get into Marshalls. And those two stores also had lines to the back of the store, and the line just kept building up, building up. It definitely took a while. And the thing that I noticed the most with these are, the workers wiping down registers, wiping down the credit card machine, wiping down even the little, plexiglass thing that they added on there. And it takes some time. They also got to wipe down the carts. And so if you thought that you were waiting in line long time even before this pandemic happened, you're going to be waiting in line for quite a while now. But right now, also, we know people aren't back to work 100% yet. So if you're a full-time reseller, people go back to work, things are kind of similar into a routine again, then I think you'll see less customers. But if you go during the weekend, you're in it for the long haul. You're going to be in there, especially if it's jam-packed.
Right. I mean, we talk about it that a lot of people don't have work, but they have money, so they're gonna be shopping. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see how it will be, during the weekday. I mean, even for you, because your Marshalls are open. My wife just sent me photos from North Carolina and South Carolina, lines out the door for TJ Maxx, and no social distancing and everything, no
Nah.
mask and everything. So uh, we'll see.
So Dirk the Pug says, I'm not wearing a mask, period. And that's the thing, too, is that you don't have to. So the sign in the front says it's not
Recommended.
mandatory,
Yeah,
but
recommended.
they said, I think Marshall said they expect customers to come in with the mask. Not everybody did. So it's totally up to you. You want to wear one or don't want to wear one. It's up to you. One guy on the video you're going to see, I was recording and he had his mask on. He was just like staring me down. I don't know what his deal was. He was just kind of like a mad face, but I thought it was kind of funny. Like seeing people with a mad face and a mask, you're like, what are these guys up to? Let me see. A virus is going to last 2 to 3 years, Mr. Eric. I mean, there's no doubt that it's going to be here and it's here to stay. But the way we change, the way we do things, I don't know. We're going to see what happens when everybody opens up. And yes, our Texas numbers are going up, which we knew was going to happen anyway. The thing is, before this somewhat lockdown, we still had numbers going up regardless.
Right.
Let me see. How's the wife's DVD from Mr. Eric? Stevie D, keep us posted. Let me go back up on here and see what the chat was saying. And let me see. Mr. Eric says, we are opening way too early. Numbers have climbed up at work. Talk about a slap to the face. And I think I asked, who did I ask? People that work at universities, things like that. I was like, man, when are they going to go back to work? And how is that even going to be? Working in offices and things. I have no clue. Utah Burlington lines out the door. And let's see, have you seen on the news the app you go on? Let's see, Nike say when they're going to open. I talked to Nike Plug, said it's going to be 25% off everything. And that's from Days King. And the guy that we talked to from the Arkansas outlet had 30% off the entire store. But he didn't walk away with much because they said they didn't have any markdowns. It was the same inventory, no markdowns, but plus 30. And we also don't know about the in-app to get an extra 10% or not, if they're even going to do that anymore. What about friends and family? What about MVP Pass? Well, how is that even going to work? Your face, you're just like,
like, like I think Friday it can't come in. I mean, I guess because we're seeing different stuff from different state. Now I think because before it usually it's uniform, right? When I get a sale, you get a sale, everybody get a sale. Now it's just like to each their own. They're just making their own thing. They're opening. Some are being cautious. Some aren't. So it's like I guess it's just like now everybody's like survival mode, but your consumers are not on survival mode. I think they're just on, they think it's Black Friday. Like the lines that I'm seeing in the photos reminds me of Black Friday, and then I am gonna try to go out, with protective gear and everything like that. But what's gonna annoy me the most is like, you're left with a choice. Are you gonna buy this 3 Tiger Woods, golf shoes and wait for an hour?
I don't know. You might not. The thing is, no one else people don't have anything to do because they're not at work. So some will wait that out. They'll
No,
wait
you
3
know
hours.
what we need to do is we might need to just bring cash and then just remove the tags and leave the tags somewhere and then be like, here, I'm out.
What? This guy's just making up his own rules now. You're
I
like, hey,
mean,
everybody else is.
like you know how like you go to restaurants if you're paying cash, you don't have to wait for any waitress or anything like that. You just put your money and you leave.
So why don't you just take your time in the stores, find everything you want, put everything in your cart, and then the first person in line, slip them with $10. Hey, bro, just buy this for me. Here you go. And you leave. Go to the next store.
Yeah, that's when you get tossed out.
Nah, Burlington, they would never. Let me go
Well,
back on here.
you're gonna get tossed out by that dude. Who do you think you are? You think you can buy your own freedom?
I don't think so.
Right.
Let me go back on here and see what people were saying on the chat. So Stevie D says the wife had it bad for 7 days of crazy high fever, but the wife is out of quarantine as of Saturday. You would never know she was ill. I'm blessed. Thanks for asking. She's so much back to normal, and she's got Stevie D's today. So I'm glad she's back to normal. Glad she's feeling a lot better. Like we've talked about it before, it's hit people totally different. Healthy, non-healthy, pre-existing, it's hit people differently. B is gonna go out with a hazmat suit. If he had one, he would definitely do so. Keep him safe. Let me see. Who said that the line was out of control? Jay Ochoa just passed TJ Maxx today. Line around the building.
Man,
Shaking his head. He doesn't even know what to say. Texas Pete.
I do just
Yesterday,
right
TJ
now.
Maxx, 100 limit. Line out the door.
Exactly.
So the thing is that the video you're going to see in my Marshalls, the line was out the door, but we only had like 10 people or so. We didn't have too many. The line that was crazy was to pay. That line was out of control. I wonder what the line is going to be at the Nike outlet, Days King. Now, remember also when... What?
South Beach spent an hour in line Marshalls to buy Nick's Foam Posset Pro.
I'm glad they even had foams. Mine didn't have anything like that.
Wow. Where are you located? Obviously South Beach, Miami. Are they open already?
Which Marshalls was it? Two of them in El Paso. We had the Far East Side and which is the other one had a long line, and the Northeast. Both of those had... The Northeast one was beside itself. This line, I'd never seen it like this, ever. Let me go back up. Cornelius going to act a fool now, Baker Brand. Cornelius, well, how's that guy doing? Let me see. Felicia, how's it going? Let me see. Where is it? No 10 plus stores a day from Hella Finds. It's going to be, that's the thing I talk about in this video. It's going to be hella different Hella Finds on getting to 10 stores.
More like 10 plus person per line now.
And going back to the Nike outlet part that we talked about with the Little Rock one, how he said 20 person limit in the store. This is going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time for you to get in the store if you're running late. You're not there when it opens. It's also going to take a long time for us to get out of this new normal, several months, if that. Game changer for waiting in line.
Right.
Let me see. The heck with the discount stores. I just need Nike and Adidas, and that's it. Just live at the outlets. Forget Burlington and Ross. I'm done with RA for a while, Doug the Pug. But Doug, you said not wearing the mask though, so I think you can still
California.
That is true.
But it's in California, so.
Girl Boss, what's up? Good to see you in here. See, no normal, Doug the Pug. I know that, but they keep forcing those words on us, so that's why I like to do them in quotations where it's a new normal. Let me go back up on here and see what the chat says. Florida Marshalls open today. Zapatos in the house. Let me see. Went to the west side. There was nobody for the El Paso one. That one was a little bit less packed when I went, but that one is kind of one of the weakest Marshalls that we have, so it's probably why. I'm digging my death pile for next few months. Everybody getting free money and people stuck at home. Online sales also crazy. So that means everyone's stocking up for reselling. And let me go back up. So are you going to do any Instagram stories, maybe a little vlog? Can we see a vlog from the bee? What does Ohio look like when it opens up on Friday?
Oh, for sure. I will. I might put a GoPro in my head.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Some in-store action. Prices on the Knicks phones have been rising. Hopefully they don't get flooded. I'm holding out in the price here. Is GOAT taking hell long for you guys too? It's been taking long. They're still taking a long time. So, all right, I'm going to throw this in the chat. You let me know. Now we have way more people that have jumped in. So I'm going to see what you believe and what you would do. So let me get this. You know what? Wrong one. Get this out of the way. Share screen. And we're going to see what B thinks. Now that stores are going to be opening up, and let's say the outlet opens up. Here's your two options. You pick one or the other. Option number one, let's give an example of like a Royal Toes or Court Purple. You spend $220 for 50 pairs of the Jordan 1s. Let's say you're buying them at like around that range, but more than likely $220 you can get Court Purple. You're going to have to spend more money for the Royals. So that's about $11,000 of your capital on hold. And let's say in 4 to 6 months, you sell them and you're making about $95 profit per shoe. You sell the 50 pairs, you make your $95 per, you're getting about $47.50 profit. Option number two, you spend your $11,000 on Outlet, Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, a little mix, and you're spending about $50 to $70 each, which is kind of the normal rate for the stores. With $11,000, you can buy 157 pairs.
Man, that's
now, now on the low end, low ROI, we're saving 40%. You're going to make way more than that, probably. You should be. We have been. Let's say lower end 40% ROI per pair. At the high end, $70. You're still going to be making about $4,300.
Right.
Which one would you choose and why? Now, I'm not saying either, like one of them is wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying, which one would you choose and why?
I think for me, that's the biggest thing that I think pushed me to do what I'm doing now. Definitely option two for me. No question. Reason being because that 11,000 on hold is really literally on hold for 4 to 6 months, right? So I'm looking at it as more of like an investment kind of move. But if you put an option two, you have a lot more leeway in moving products and actually being out there and finding gems, right? Because you're considering there are no home runs in these finds, right? We all know we find home runs every now and then, and also too is there is cash flow coming in here and then, right? Let's say, so would you say this will sell out within 4 months or 3 months?
I mean, more than likely you would probably sell. Let's say these 157 pairs, I would think are going to be gone by
easily 3 months.
Yeah, they should maybe some lingering ones at the very end, but
right. So I would say in general, because I would at 40% ROI, a lower ROI, you would sell a lot if you're buying better products within the first 2 months, right? And I believe within the first 2 months you'll get your $11,000 back with 157 pairs. So that's how I look at it. But I mean, that's really how I built the business that we have now, is really just going out there, flipping the money over and over again.
So I'm going to play both sides because I do see, I mean, I see the good and bad on both, but here's the thing. Option number two, now let's keep in mind, not all stores have opened yet, right? We also know stores are going to take a long time getting in lines. Things are going to be changing for in-store type of purchases. And is that going to be a huge factor or not? We don't know. Option two, though, yes, you are going to have some home runs. You're also going to have some finds that are going to get a little over flooded and may not move for a while. So we also know that some of these may not move within 3, 4 months. Maybe they will sell 5 or 6 months. Depends how long
Mhm.
you're willing to hold out and what the find actually is. So some of those not necessarily will be a dookie find. I
Right.
just think that there might be on for a long term
Hmm.
if so many stores have these.
Right.
But at the same time, not all stores are open yet.
True.
Um, Also could come into play. Option number one, you're looking at a Jordan 1, though, that should hold ground and value, and should rise. It may not rise in value. I mean, we're assuming you're making
Right.
95 profit per shoe
In
by the
six
sixth
months.
month.
Right.
It
Right.
could take 8 months, maybe 10 months,
Yeah.
or maybe it goes higher than maybe 6 month you're at 120 a pair.
Yeah.
We don't.
But looking at the average rise, I mean, the only $220 pair of Jordan ones that you're paying is a non-OG colorway. If we talk about shadows, right? The 2018 shadows release, they're they're doing 300, 400 now,
Yeah.
and you're banking for this to be close to that price, right? So that's why it's very hard to put that money down on that, because in option two, one of the things that we talked about is when you want to get out, you can easily get out of the product if it's oversaturated, and then get your money back and reinvest it better. So I think the biggest thing here is at Texas Speed, more options. I'd say yes, because when you find, because here's the thing, like I'm thinking at this, like I'm a continuous learner, right? So all of a sudden, right, if I make a mistake in buying Jordan ones, it's gonna take me 6 months to learn one mistake and not buy Royals again. But if I make a mistake on buying a purple Air Max one, which I can find on most outlets, I'm gonna stay away from it. So I think within that option two, you're learning a lot, you expand your knowledge, and then if you really need to get out or return that product, you can do it like that. So option one, the only way you can sell that is mostly what? Go StockX. As soon as you sell that, you're already accruing fees.
Yeah, the good thing is kind of like what you just said. I do agree. With the Jordan 1, though, if you want to get out at any time, you can rely on Go and StockX. You have complete with box, you're done, you get your money, and you don't like where it's going or where it's headed. But that might be 3 months down the road, and then you just
Right.
lost your patience. And then by month 5, it went up. And then
Mm-hmm.
now you're kind of like, oh man, what do I do?
Right.
Option number 2, though, complete with box, you can do the same thing and give, if you need your money back, you can StockX and Go, Nike outlet, Adidas outlet fines because you're complete with box.
Right.
Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, no box. Now, the only way you can get out and get your money back is yes, by making a return or, undercutting and
Right.
getting scraps back on eBay,
Mm-hmm.
assuming it's even going to sell when you do scraps. We've seen people give up. They lower the price all the way down to the lowest it can go, even if they're losing 5, 7,
Right.
8, $9, and it still doesn't even sell
Right.
because it's that bad of a product. Now, that's also their fault for picking it up,
Yeah.
but that also could happen.
Yeah. At this point, like I'm seeing an option too. Like I'm just leaning more towards it because I've learned so much. I've made so many mistakes. That's why I am more confident on that one, right? Because now you're a lot smarter than what you used to be. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for me really is where I'm at right now. I could easily look at my stats or my previously sold items, and banking on my research and sold abilities on eBay, and not just relying on Glenn's YouTube finds that I go after it, right? So now I think I am more equipped to flip the $11,000 faster than sitting on a shoe, because to tell you honestly, I've been in both. I've been I started as a heavy hype person, and more likely or less, what happens is you didn't hold it long enough.
Yeah.
But for a person like me that really don't have that that huge chunk of money on the side, right? Because I still have to pay my bills and everything like that. So every now and then you probably have to sell one or two, right? So to cover your bills and everything like that. So your cash flow is really slow when you have the more expensive items. Uh, I think one would be a really great option if you have a full time job. I think that's one of the things that I could say.
Yeah. And option number one, if you have a bunch of capital.
Yeah,
If you have the
100.
capital to do it, then it's almost like a side investment while you're doing option
Yeah,
number two.
bro. If you would tell me right now, I have $100,000 right now. If you give me, I would totally invest $80,000 on option number one and play with the $20,000 uh for option number two. That would be my goal. So who's willing to lend me $100,000?
Let me go on PayPal Capital. Here's 100 grand, Hustlebee.
Right, right, right.
Alexander says you can sell on Facebook, IG, not Goat and StockX, not only the options, which I do agree.
True.
But I guess we're saying, I guess our example would just be like an instant. If you want instant money, you don't have to find a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just cash out whenever you want if you wanted to on those apps. But yes, you are paying the fees and everything that comes with that.
Right.
Let me go back up and see what the chat was saying so we can keep the discussion going. And Days King says originally we have option number one, do both. Option number two, two, and two. Days King, I don't want to hold any pairs because the market for Royal Run's going to go down. And I'd rather do number two because I feel like getting out of the crib.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to be a rat in this cage anymore. I need to get out. Number two, Sneaker Finds 12. Caroline, outlet. That's what I need. That's what I have been doing because I hated gas bill money in California. Option number two is my current business plan and model, Mr. Eric. Alexander says number one, because Jordan 1s are always going to sell. The shoes at Burlington is a toss-up and don't know what models. So Alexander on that one.
Right.
Number two, still kicking at sports. In reality, your ROI will be better than 40% if you source the right shoes, which, yes, that's why we give our low ROI on that one. Let me see. Hella finds. Well, the thing is, we're going to take months to source 157 pairs from the stores now. That's what we don't really know how long it's going to take. But I think if you're like Hustlebee or someone ecom lifestyle, everybody else that can go to multiple outlets and stores, you can spend 11 grand pretty well. Now in El Paso, we only have one store. So I could do it by taking more people and kind of been doing what I've been doing.
Right.
But
and here's the thing. Like I tell everybody, you still kill it with one store. You could easily still spend 11 grand in 3 weeks in your store. Right? You would
assuming the deals are good.
right. And Glenn can drive 6 hours and head to Phoenix.
And then quarantine himself after.
Yeah.
14 days. There'll be a lot of closed retail stores. Some Johnson. Let me see. We all know not all those in option number two will sell through, though. Floods will happen and cause holds. Very true. Let me see. If you find a shoe that has 3 offers making you great profits, buy a stack of 10 instantly, Mr. Eric. I probably wouldn't even find 157 pairs to buy, so I'm option number one, Dapper Fanatic. Depends on your area, so another factor.
Depends on your area, depends on your patience, and depends on your time, like I said.
Option one, if you want constant cash flow, or option number two, if you just want to stash away. How about option three, 5,500 on Jordan 1s and 5,500 on Outlet, Ross, and Marshalls, Victor S.
Well, if you want, it would be very hard to do that. I tried. I tried to do that. It's very hard because once you strike gold on the outlets, you want to need to have all of that capital, right? Like, for example, right, if you find silver boxes, right, like me and Glenn found it, we went all in, neck deep, 30 pairs each. Remember that Atlanta find? And that's $59 each times 30. So that was $1,800 right there, plus the other finds that you can get. So Again, it goes with your capital availability, really, um, because when there's a good sale, I mean, you've seen Glenn pick up 50 pairs of Air Maxes, that had red boxes. That could add up really quick. So I think it's very hard, to be honest, to do both. I think you gotta be more focused on one.
Well, here's the thing on both. They could both come back to get you, right? Because let's say you run into some retros that went down on clearance at your Nike outlet. You're one of the first ones there. It's key time to buy. But yes, you have the 5,500 on the Jordan 1s that you've been holding on. You don't have the capital to do it. But then on the opposite side, it's like, all right, I put the 5,500 on the Jordan 1s and they do sell well. And you're like, damn, I should have put the 11,000 because they
right,
did so well.
right. I think regret's gonna kill you. Because really, honestly, to get 50 pairs of Jordan one is them. It's really near impossible to do it.
Well, I'm saying like the prices go down, they start undercutting, and let's say
Right.
you're IG,
Right.
goats, you're just getting as Mercari as many as you
Right.
can.
But for that Jordan 1, well, so 220 net 95, you're trying to sell it for what, 350?
More or less.
80, right? 380, 350, right? What would be that Jordan 1 that did that? Right? In the last 3 years would be what? Shadows, Royals, uh, Turbo Greens, right?
And even Turbo Green, I think even took longer. I think Turbo Green took like a year. I have those.
Exactly, Glenn.
Turbo Green didn't take 6 months.
Yeah, this is a scam. Glenn's offering you the scam. Or Royal Toast.
Obsidian definitely did.
Obsidian. But who could have got 30 pairs at 220? I think right off the bat they were easily 250, right? Weren't they? At least
pretty low. Well, in the beginning of it.
Well, at least the bad sizes.
Bloodlines Pine Green 1.0 Court Purple 1.0. Well, those I think those are still pretty tough to get back in the day when Court Purple first came out.
Yes, Court Purple was very hard to get as well. It was hard to get 50 pairs. Pine Greens you could have. I don't know where Pine Greens is at now, the 1.0. But
Option 1, great model for those with a bot and purchase huge bulk. Still kicking sports. Tell me you didn't just say that I hear still kicking it sports. I don't know. Let me see. Old habits are hard to break. Baker brand. I also have to factor in fuel and time to travel to all these stores. Yes, very intramorph. Option 3 just has district deals for cash. Patience is key. Is both. You got to understand some might hit and some might not. Just depends on the season. And patience is key on both. I remember I spent quite a bit of money on some of the Yeezys on option number 1, and those did not go up for a long time. And I don't even know if they ever did. I didn't even wait that long to find out because they were just struggling, and then more colorways kept coming out. So you don't know on either one, but you have to keep checking and see how it is. That's why you don't really want to give up right away either on a semi-flood, because that's why we've been going back on the Wednesday live shows to see how well some of these semi-floods have been doing, and some of them did really great. Remember those Go Dome boats or boot things that I was looking at? Like Go Domes are like,
yeah.
They were. I know a lot of people that didn't pick those up, and they were selling great. And then now there's there was 9 listings, if that. Option number 1 is proven Jordan 1s. Well, it is proven for the right Jordan 1.
Right.
And
it can't be just Pine Green 2.0s. Like even if good Jordan 1, like I think Turbo Green's good, but still took a year.
Yeah, that still took a little bit longer. Option number 1, if you know what you're doing. Option number 2 for a new seller. Did you guys see the bot 100 pairs of Obsidians before they shot up? And yeah, I think that's what comes into play for option 1, which is making great money on that for getting 50 pairs, 100 pairs, things like
Right.
that. But for also someone that has quite a bit of stores around them, for this example, 4750,
Yeah, you could
there's so
easily
many more people making more than 4750 in 2 months, 1
months.
month. You can do
Yeah,
more than that.
easily. I mean, like, like, well, I guess it's just a matter of inventory too, right? Like, just for example, right? Like I've sold $5,000 worth of stuff last week, right? So, it just eBay alone. Uh, so right there, I mean, can I repeat that now at my skill level? Yes. But did it take me a while to get to where I'm at? Yes. So, that's why I would rather do the option two, because your skill level will gradually increase, rather than just betting on one thing and waiting on that and learning one thing at a time at 6 months at a time rate. Um, but but again, 157 pairs. If all were good or decent buy, I could sell it within a month with all the platforms, right? With all the platforms listed, with box, everything like that. If you listed in Mercari, Gold, Poshmark, I mean, even Facebook Marketplace, offer up everything. I truly think you can do that. For example, what were your buys, like your Air Max 98s, Glenn? Right? You got those. Uh, I got the Air Max Plus. You got the Air Max Plus, the Sunset colorway. They all went within 2 months. It was just a matter
Yeah.
of getting the max profit, right? But if you unloaded it all at 50% profit, you would get it within a few weeks.
Yeah. And I'm going with, so in general, I am doing option number 1 and option number 2. I'm doing both. And for B, I know he's doing option number 2. He's getting some of the fines on some of the releases, whatever you can get, like, here and there. But the reason that we always talk about this, he's doing more option number 2 because he has a lot more stores also to head and go out and get some of that stuff. For my option, I can make that drive out to Phoenix with more resellers, or I can own my area with the stores that I have and then have that money on the side for some of the other, bulk buys. So I think both of them, I mean, we've done success on both ways. So it's
Right.
not like you can lose, but I thought it's a very interesting conversation.
I think at this point it's
On
like, where can you maximize your capital? I think that's the question, really, right? Like, how fast can you flip it? At what certain ROI are you getting? Uh, I mean, that's really what it is. And if you're the person that wants to go out and drive around more, like most of us do, option number two will thrive, right? Because there's the thrill of the hunt. There's that you get to wake up every day hopping and popping. But with option number one, it could be, like I said, if you have a full-time job and just forget about it, perfect, right? Like, you have other things to think about. But if you're just sitting at home, like for example, like quarantine at home, right? If you're just buying hype shoe, all you're looking at, like, man, when is this gonna go up? When is this gonna go up? If you're truly banking at that kind of income, right? Because really, if we're talking income streams, the option one is really hard to live off on, unless you have other streams of income that could supplement your expenses. Option two is very doable to live off of that, based on your just cash flow, having sales every here and there and everything like that. So that's the biggest toss up. I think uh, the the most resellers we know do a lot of option two that are doing full time,
yeah,
right? Like, they're moving a lot more volume game. Uh, but I think what me and Glenn's doing is kind of like a little bit hybrid, right? We're not doing too much volume because we're trying to get the maximum profit with the least volume moving. Because me and Glenn could easily be in a warehouse if we want to do 20, 30% ROI.
just make a lot less, but you got to move the volume.
Yeah,
But
you gotta move
can you
volume.
move the volume? It's up
Yeah,
to where
yes,
you are or
right,
in
right.
store.
And then, yeah, you gotta have all the logistics happening. You gotta have people working for you. Now you gotta rent a space and everything like that. So and I think to kind of like generalize where I'm standing from, uh, me and my wife are in a journey of trying to get this business to $1 million per year with just us in hiring a part-time shipper. That's kind of like our goal, and I think that's my life's project. And me and Glenn talk about it all the time. Like, can we get to 1 million a year, doing the things that we do?
As of right now, it's. I mean, what's your time limit though? Because it's not saying you're going to get there in a year or 2 years or even 3 years. It
Hey,
could take.
remember when we were talking last year? We said 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I think the only way to get there though is by mixing in option one. I would think.
Well, for you, if you don't have
Yeah.
the if you have a last store, right? Like, but again, I think like 3 years was the timeline, realistic timeline, because you're doubling your inventory. The goal is for me to have $350,000 in inventory and flip it 3 times in 1 year, and that's the $1 million sales. So far, I've only reached 120 at my peak. So so it's a climb.
You're in and Romeo got a question. Let me know. Let's see. Chris says in my area in West Phoenix is great. So many stores on by the stadium. I do like that outlet though, by the stadium. Here's a question for the chat. All you got to do is put yes or no. I don't care where you live. Ross opens tomorrow. Burlington opens tomorrow. All stores open tomorrow. Nike outlet. Are you going to go out? Yes or no? That's all you have to say. Yes or no, I'm not. Let me see what Mr. Eric says no. So there's a first answer. More people coming in. Let's see. So we'll see your 89 Romeo and see what he says. We have yes. So we have 1 no, 2 yes. 4. Let me see. No. All right. So 3 and 2. Yes, and yes. Hustle and silence. Hell no. Ecom lifestyle. Yes. Mr. Sports LA. No.
Yeah, what about you, Glenn? We kind of know your answer, right? You're going.
Yeah.
My stand is I'm going if I'm the first person there, right? Because you can't be in all stores at the same time, right? So you gotta pick your poison, get to your best bet store, right? Be there, find that thing, try to like check out as fast as you can, because I truly believe after 3 hours of the stores opening, it's gonna be crazy.
You have to be. I mean,
right?
you could pass by if there's a line outside the door. You could be like, "Screw it, I'm not gonna go." I don't want to wait.
Right, like, because like I'm thinking like if it's Nike outlet, you're definitely gonna get there, and at least you have to spend at least an hour there, because checkout gonna take forever too.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be going to your next store 2 hours after, right? They open. So I'm very interested in Ohio, because from all the photos I've seen, they're crazy. So we'll see how Ohioans are gonna react.
Let me go back. Yes. No. Let's see. Nope. Yes. Hell yeah, Felicia. Of course, Eagle Empire. Hell to the nah from. What was that one? Oh man, it went away from All Starters.
You know what's crazy though? Because now the stores are shortening their hours.
Mm-hmm.
So before, right, when they open at 9 or 10, all the other consumers are still asleep or still eating breakfast. You see what I'm saying? The natural traffic,
going to work.
Right? The natural traffic happens is like lunchtime, right? Everybody starts going out, waking up. I mean, even on the weekends, right? If you're there 9, 10 a.m., no people. As soon as 11, 12 hits, traffic hits in. So that's going to be the interesting part. Now everybody's awake at 11 and then head to their stores.
If it's empty, I'll go. I'm out working in it every day. So hell yes, I'm grinding. Texas Pete. I'll be waiting for the meds to sedate you all, Mr. Eric. Eagle Empire. I'm not scared of the hashtag plandemic. Let me go back down. Nike outlet. Better get there super early. Cool kicks. Yes, if I'm one of the first 10 people. Yes and yes. Flip the script. What have we talked about? He just got in here. Let me see. Do you think the outlet will have sale prices or full price to start? Well, from what we know right now, 30% off the entire store is what we know. We don't know of any markdowns.
For the people that opened within the last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the next thing you know how they alternated this week when everybody opens, there's gonna be no sale.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's gonna happen when everybody opens? All I know is I gotta be one of the first ones there. And if I plan on recording, that's gonna take me a long time to leave.
Glenn, I would say you gotta prioritize YouTube video or buy, because I know you. I've been with you when we travel. We spend longer time when you record.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so
we source first to see what's there because we got to see what to buy. Then I'll record.
right,
But yeah, number one has to be what am I going to buy to grow the business?
because really too, like, especially with having one outlet, that's gonna be the toughest part because you already have lines every weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take my sweet ass time in Nike Outlet to record though, especially if competition is waiting outside.
Oh, 100%. That's why the goal is to get 10 people to go with you and just have the other 10 people walk around.
Yeah.
Hey, just try on whatever you want. I'll get you some Janoskis.
I'll get you some shoelaces.
Free socks.
Yeah.
That with me for 1 hour.
Yeah, just chill a little bit. Let me see. 89 Romeo. I've been selling part time for 11 months on FBA and almost 20K on eBay. FBC, my old coworkers told me they got away with so much product. I'm going with Ku Kicks, talking about that one. Let me see. Let me go back on here. If you make the effort, you'll be in a good place to reap the rewards. I'm going out and getting it. I'm not scared. Smooth sailing.
Oh, go out and get it.
There you go. Let me go back up and see. Plandemic is right. Doug the Pug. Everyone going to to make returns. The returns were pretty crazy at the second Marshalls I went to. They had the boxes in the back of all the returns.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, they had that quite a bit. I think Burlington returns might be wild. Because people have been, what Ross is gonna be. Thinking about it now.
Bro, I'm
Ross
not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try to go to Ross because Ross shoppers are ruthless. They're immune to any sickness.
They are because we're used to
snow, whether it be snowing, storm, raining, Ross is popping.
Man, Ross, man, I'm starting to really feel for the workers now too. Like
for that $5 chocolate that they're selling, and for the what do the people buy? The mirror, the frame, the painting. There's always that two ladies trying to fit a giant mirror in a salon. There's always that outside of Ross.
Yeah, that's always that. Let's see, but Ross is number one on Glenn's charts. I know, that's why it's gonna hurt so much going to these stores.
Just go there when closing time.
That's the worst part because all the shoes are all over the floor, and now you're just, yeah, that's gonna be wild. Are these stores opening all in the USA? They are, but all at different times. Different states have different rules. Different stores have different rules. So everything's wild right now. All we know is Marshalls open, at least for Texas. All around Texas, I've seen different Marshalls. People have been posting things. We know in Arizona, Goodwills and like thrift stores have been open. We also know that North Carolina did open some of the Marshalls. I believe South Carolina has been open. And what are the other ones that we do know of? Florida? I don't know. Maybe I didn't see some of the Florida. I thought some of them were open. Ross has not been open anywhere. We do know that. We do know Nike Outlet has only been open in that Little Rock, Arkansas one so far. Ross B, dirty as hell too. Texas P, yes. Man,
never use the restroom.
Here's a question for the chat. Honest question. You mentioned bathroom. If you do go sourcing, are you going to use the restroom? Yes or no? Some people say restroom is the most dirtiest part you can go to. Does that matter to you or not?
Yes, at Nordstrom Rack.
On Nordstrom Rack only.
At
Shoot to
North.
kill, no, man. Right now, 3 straight up no's, not going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Bathrooms were sketchy before. You're um, hell no. Sneakerhead on a budget. I'll be at home before going. And if you're planning on going to multiple stores, though, your bladder better be on point.
man. If you're in Texas, you could be out anywhere. Just open the doors.
At Marshall's only, I'm wearing a diaper, keyboard warrior. I never did it before either. I have a bladder size of a flea. I need to wear a diaper, hustle in silence. Let me see. Looks like I'm not drinking any water before trips. Get a stadium, buddy. You can hook that up. Use it before you go, just like your mom would tell you before on a road trip. Man, that's funny. I use a port on the John's construction sites. I'm good. So there you go. Porta potties. I'll rock a catheter from Felicia. This is hilarious. Use it before you go. And here's the next question: hand sanitizer or washing your hands? Now, there's 2 options you could do here. In the chat, you tell me. Option number 1: you're taking a bunch of hand sanitizer before you leave stores. After you leave stores, you're getting that out there. Or number 2, you take like a water jug, you take some soap and a hand towel. You're just washing the hands after every. No sanitizer. You're getting 100% washing the hands.
Man, you gotta do what you need to do is you need to buy the spray alcohol, hand alcohols. That's what you gotta do.
Do they kill all the germs, though?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The chat says hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer. Again, I'm wearing the gloves. Big Meek. Hand sanitizers always got some on me. Both Texas.
Y'all need to get the spray on alcohol sanitizers, man.
$5 smooth sailing on the super chat. Thanks for that, Stevie D. Reselling reruns got me crunk. Stevie D. TV, where it be? Dang, there we go. I like that. Let's see. Germex on deck. Use the wipes. Keep both just in case. I'm taking sanitizer, doing both. Sanitizer is bad for you, actually. Weakens your body's good bugs. From Flip the Script. So you got to wash the hands.
Whatever.
Whatever. Let's see what happens on Friday when B is out there in the wild. In line.
I'll never be in line, that's for sure.
Mr. Eric says, bro, get out of here from Flip the Script. It says it's not going to weaken your body. Smooth, you too kind, bros. DVD, disinfectant spray before you touch the shoes. All the lowers the immune system. Laugh out loud.
Man, that's crazy, right? Because you got to touch the shoe.
Yeah, so in this video, I am touching every shoe. But here's my question. Are you going to be touching shoes? Like, if you know what it is, oh, they're cool, there's an Air Max 98. Are you going to look to see what size it is? Or the only way you're going to touch it is by buying it. You're not going to go through and just look through stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, you're going to touch it, or no, you're not going to touch it?
No, that I think you brought up a good point. If you're going to touch it, you better believe it, you're going to buy it.
Oh, okay.
Don't be that rookie, be buying all this stuff, putting it in a cart and putting on the side, researching it. You gotta know. Because at this point, man, like I'm not spending any of my capital on what if inventory. This inventory that I'm getting better be sure. Option number 2.
But they told you that it's not going to be on clothing. It's not going to be on. Yeah, you're probably going to get it from the cart rather than touching the shoe.
Right.
Right.
That's why you just ask the Nike employee, like, I need 10.
I'm touching everything I need to. I'm a touchy-feely kind of guy. Texas B. Someone said, what's B's snack of the day?
I haven't had a snack.
I don't like that. You got to get a snack.
I did go to Cane's drive-thru after I dropped off my stuff, so I'm stuffed. that chicken fingers with some French fries.
What if you have a One hand, your left hand for touching and sourcing, right hand for phone,
Man,
and
that doesn't work. What are you talking about?
one hand for sourcing,
Might as well
other
be just like,
hand.
might as well just be like park ranger dudes or like park cleaners that has that extendable arm that
Oh,
grabs. You gotta do that.
or
That's
the one that has like the little dinosaur head, arr, and like claw
yeah,
stuff.
like that. Like
Yeah, I think you should try to do that with the phone though. You would hate to be texting using the phone and grabbing stuff. But
yeah,
here's the funny thing though. You were doing this before the virus anyway. You were touching everything. You were touching your phone. You were doing all of this stuff. Will it change? Some people will, some people it won't. So, yes, I was touching the products, and you'll see that in the video. I'll get that video out today. We're past our hour.
next thing you know, next thing you know, hey guys, welcome to Hustler X YouTube channel. Glenn can't make it today. He's sick.
Here we go. I'm gonna be quarantined and hiding. Yeah. We got that El Paso sun though. We're getting that vitamin D. We're getting that sun.
It's freezing here. It was like 40s in the morning.
Baker Brown, whatever left-handed.
Man, whatever it takes. We'll see. I mean, like, again, bunch of talks. We'll see when this thing opens. As Michael Jordan would say, winning has a price.
What if your stores don't have from Big Mac? Big Mac. I don't know. We don't know what the store's gonna have. My Marshalls didn't have much.
Man, all I know, if Burlington's running 50% off and Nike's doing discount, I'm there.
All right, there's your answer.
I'm about to be the biggest undercutter on eBay.
Oh no.
At $100 plus shipping. No fees.
Josh, what if you only got one hand? Well, then you got the hook. You can hook the back of the shoe or something. All right. Anything else before we go? We are done. Go ahead and get it. Have a great reseller day later, guys. Original Closet. We'll see you. And yes, live show on Wednesday. Me and the B will be here, and we'll see if stores open up. Any stories before Wednesday? If not, then next Wednesday or no Sunday show will be even better because the stores are open on Friday. Then B will have some stories. So we'll be excited for that. We'll see you on Wednesday for the review of the floods or semi-floods. And B, anything else?
Option number 2.
All right, go ahead and get it.